Hey friends, welcome back to This Is Not Van Life. I'm Jupiter. It's been a minute since the last video and I'm so excited to bring you the next installment in our This Is Not Van Life journey. Over the winter, I was gifted a complete Solar Elite kit from Go Power Solar. It included the inverter, the charge controller, the solar panels, mounting hardware, all of it. Our one job was to retrofit it all into Hottie and, well...
Alright, let's go.
Oh my gosh, alright, so... I'm so I'm just gonna say it, this did not go the way that we thought it was gonna go at all. Mr. Drew, do you want to tell us why?
Well, I guess the thing is, where do I begin is what we're
Story of our life, bro.
Yeah,
like,
story of our life.
Yeah. As per usual, Hottie decided to spice up the retrofit and gave us a few more curveballs than we anticipated. Lucky for us, life on the road is one big lesson in rolling with the punches, so we did just that. It took 2 installs and probably as many months, but with the help of the amazing community we built on Instagram, we were able to get it done. With that, I'm super excited to be able to walk you through these installs.
All of your wires are here. So I am going to leave your fuse over here. I'm glad that we did this. I think this wire is going to be thick enough. I'm not sure because of how far it is. Turn your inverter so that these cables are facing backwards and this vent situation here is facing out. And that way when you install your couch, you can put little holes in your couch and let this breathe. This must breathe.
Yeah, 100%.
It has to breathe, and I also would recommend installing like a little 12-volt fan in your couch to allow airflow so that it does not overheat.
As you can tell, we kind of had our work cut out for us. That absolute angel of a human being you see marking up my refrigerator with a very long list of things to do is Megan. I met Megan through Instagram, actually. She saw me looking desperately for someone to help me make this whole setup that you see right here connect to this little mess of a sitch that you see right here so that I could have power when I plugged my laptop into my wall, and she came running to the rescue. Megan is an amazing person. She is a mother, a food forester, she is a bus builder, she's an electrician, a woodworker. There's nothing that woman doesn't do, and I am forever impressed by her. We went to about 3 different stores looking for parts that we needed, and of course we ended up at Lowe's. The original problem with Hottie's retrofit wasn't really with the Go Power Solar Kit at all, and when I say it wasn't really, I mean it really wasn't. The issue is actually that Hottie's original owner had decided to rewire her electrical system, but didn't really leave any markers or indicators of what was going on. So we weren't able to locate the main breaker, which meant we had no control over our power source. And we thought that we were going to have to replace the entire breaker box and just kind of rip out all of Hottie's wiring and redo it. Biggest of shouts to that man at Lowe's who told us that all we really had to do was replace the breakers and do some wire tracing. So while Megan got pro tips on rewiring an antique breaker box, I got to hang out with this sweet angel. Tell me he's not the cutest. You can't. In order to link the Go Power inverter to our newly rebuilt breaker box, we needed this giant wire. We were gonna get 9 feet, homie hooked us up with 11, and we're so glad because that worked out and it ended up being just enough to go from the new inverter to the existing power system.
When I plug this into the breaker, well, we're going to flip it on. We're going to put my little outlet tester in here, and I'm going to see if your outlets are functional.
Okay.
And then I'm going to flip the breaker off and put it in there, and if your outlets are no longer functional, then that was definitely the breaker.
Then we know that's what that was, okay?
I mean, that's probably not the professional way to...
No, I think that is, though. Like, I don't know what other way there would be. Like, I really don't.
I will take these out of this panel. No, I mean, what would you like me to do with these wires? Would you like me to cap them in this panel? Would you like me to take them out of the panel and cap them in the cabinet?
Yeah, I think especially like the AC one, since that's now officially just dead, right? Like, if we've disconnected it from that breaker box and we're about to...
On the other side?
I disconnected it and capped it off for those of you at home who are wondering, and that's exactly what you should do with live wiring in your RV. Tracing the wires was not an easy process, and I am so glad that I had Megan on hand to help me. While it's true that I did most of Hottie's renovations by myself, electricity is the one thing I refuse to touch on account of I'm not trying to electrocute myself, bro.
And it shows you here how it was wired, the ground, the green, the white, and the black. The wiring diagram, that's pretty handy, except for it still does not tell me which one of these freaking wires is the one I'm looking for, or which one of the ones wire here. This, I traced it back. It goes to the generator. It doesn't go past the generator to the fridge. It goes to the generator.
Yeah.
So, I don't need that. I don't understand why the power goes to the generator and not from the generator. I can't figure that one out.
Probably a pilot light situation, or like an electrical alternator. Once all of the wire tracing was done, Megan jumped right into the breaker box. She pulled out all of the old breakers, capped off any wires that were not functional, like the ones that go to the generator and the AC, ripped out any excess wiring that she found, which was kind of a lot actually, and in the process discovered that the previous owner had replaced breakers but hadn't done so correctly, which presented us with a fire hazard that we really weren't aware we had until Megan got in there. Megan got in there, fixed it all, super quick too. I want it to be noted. The original estimate from the other electrician was that it would take a couple weeks to get all the wires traced and the breakers redone. Megan did it in, I think, 2 days, if that. It wasn't long at all. Megan's amazing. Have I said that already?
Oh, hey. Okay. We're gonna get this done today.
That's exciting. That's exciting.
I'm almost finished. I'm putting in the last wire.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's really good. Like I said, that woman's a powerhouse. She knocked the breaker box out, and as soon as she was done, dove right into messing with the fuse box.
Got this.
Okay.
But I'm done here.
Sweet.
The next thing that I want to say is I'm going to try to make this work.
Okay.
Because I saw that you can buy replacement fuses for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and make it work.
Sweet. Thank you so much. Our 12-volt system was something that absolutely gave us problems in the past, but being the noob when it comes to electricity that I am, I had no clue what it was. I kind of just wrote it off. In fact, I didn't use the electricity or the 12-volt in Hottie for a very long time. Then Megan got in there, rewired the fuse box, which, thanks to Hottie's previous owner again, was incorrectly done. And within a few hours, she gave me the gift of a fully functioning electrical system. Excuse the lack of fuse panel footage, tiny space probs.
That's done. So let's run this wire and hook it up to there so that we can go plug it in.
Awesome. Yeah, remember that 11 feet of wire I was talking about? I got the super cool job of running underneath Hottie to put it from one hole inside my closet, tucked up underneath the chassis, and into another hole next to the inverter on the other side of the RV. I am claustrophobic as hell, I was terrified, and I laid in cat shit doing it, so no, I didn't get any footage, but I do have this of the original holes being installed. Once the wire was successfully run, it was time to turn our attention to the star of the show, our GoPower Solar Elite system. So this system I figured out that I needed using their online calculator, and it comes with two 190 watt solar panels, a 2000 watt pure sine wave inverter charger, which is also an automatic transfer switch, and that allows me to run Hottie off of shore power, and a battery charger so we can charge our batteries off of that too. They send you everything but the batteries, and they send enough of it that you can set it up however best works for your space and make your own custom configuration. But whenever I got mine installed, the original installers didn't really tailor it to my space, which left me with this big inefficient mess. And after some troubleshooting with the GoPower support line, we realized that we needed to do some serious downsizing on our system. Apparently, the shorter the distance of the wiring, the better, and that clearly was not a thing that was followed with the initial install, so we went behind and shortened all of it just so we could get the most efficient use out of our system. The first step was to disconnect the circuitry from the batteries and the inverter to make sure that there was no power running through it. A light tug on the battery terminal connections showed that they hadn't been super securely fastened, which isn't really the news you want when you're working with electricity, but it worked in our favor.
That was a blessing in disguise for
Okay.
this one moment.
Yeah.
For this one moment. But now,
Now we have to figure out the rest of this.
Okay.
Just leave that there. Your head bump. Going behind the initial installers wasn't too difficult due to the fact that GoPower's instructions are incredibly simple and their support line's really helpful, but we did run into a couple of things that required Megan's prowess.
Get this cable into your little fuse terminal block here, so he just cut a bunch of your copper off in addition to leaving this cable so long. So yeah, you're definitely not getting the amount of power through here that you would, because the amount of copper he's cut off is taking this down by about a whole gauge, like a whole size. Not like 8 to 6, but if 7 was a real thing, you know what I mean? I mean, he's taking you down. So you're not getting
10 gauge worth of power. Or 8
not.
gauge.
This is probably this is 2 aught. So this is huge cabling for sure. But
as you can tell, I know nothing.
So I'm gonna have to cut this. I mean, obviously we were cutting.
Oh my
already,
gosh, is that what that is on the edge?
You see how there's a lot of, and it's all the way around, and a bunch of them have just fell off in my hand. This whole long piece needs to go from here to here. This is the one. This is the second one that I have taken off from this person. They didn't cut this one. Instead, they shoved it all in there as best as they could. You see, and then there's the impression from this one. I shoved it in there. Every strand.
Oh, this is a much better angle for this.
And the impression left from the bolt is much deeper because I tightened it down much tighter and much more efficiently. Wrong? Right. I'm also going to cut off this much of this one.
Okay.
Just don't need it. Losing power.
Fun.
You know, some people, when they don't want to argue with you because they're wrong, they'll be like, well, it's just semantics.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're just wrong.
Just like that, Megan was off to do what Megan does. She quickly figured out a solution that to this day I am super happy with. Oh, yummy. And this is all the excess.
This is everything.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, sorry, I dropped some of it.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yum.
This will help. Fixing that will help. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that whole wire that just was not attached at all properly. Love it for us.
I did gently tug on the others and they all seem fine. Now we're going to, excuse my mess, and we're going to cut all of this slack off. Because
God, that's a lot.
that's excessive and pointless and irritating. I'm going to run this over here to here.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense since it's on that side.
Doesn't it though?
Mm-hmm. How do you know which side is which?
What do you mean? Oh,
Does it matter? Uh-oh, you should
This
probably
doesn't
squeeze.
matter. Pretty sure. Unless, but I've kept it like this on purpose. This is how it was.
Okay,
This side went to the battery, and this side went to the
inverter.
inverter. And this side has a sticker on it, and this side doesn't, so the sticker side went to the inverter.
Okay.
Simple as that. Anyway, this will go from here, and it will reach. It will reach up here, but it might not reach. The inverter's there. I gotta look. But look, fail safe.
Mm-hmm.
And I have tons of terminals and like heat shrink.
I'm excited. We ended up deciding to rearrange the entire system so that it would all fit on top of the wheel well for two reasons. One, to minimize the distance between all of the components so we could maximize the power we retained from our solar panels, but also so that we could retain the maximum amount of floor space possible. It's true that in tiny living, every available inch of space matters.
Now, so that will not be safe. We are not doing it.
Okay.
Means I need to go find one of these lugs. going to find my phone and I'm going to ask Google if any store in this town has one in stock. Because that's what you do.
Once more, Lowe's came to the rescue, and Megan was able to rearrange literally everything else in the time it took us to get the piece. And when we finally got the right setup, the rest was history.
Yeah.
So I just rewired it the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I need to go back and mess with it again, I will do so. I think I had a thought behind that, but you know,
Nap, no coffee.
I think that's what I hate about naps is there's no like coffee drinking involved when you wake up, because otherwise you won't go to sleep when it's time to go to bed.
Tidying, reconnecting, and testing the connections was the last step.
Oh man, I'd be super so mad if we pull and it comes right out. Alright, now see. Good? Okay.
We're yanking on
But I needed to make sure it can handle vibrations.
It's a stress test.
It was a stress test, yeah. Alright. And I can't move this very well because it is securely embedded in this bottom screw. So like you can put that in there, but you can't pull the blood. No, we're just going, I'm gonna put it right here. And then tomorrow, I don't trust these connections.
Not long after it got dark, we wrapped up the project, which meant we got to enjoy the fruits of our labor as we finished off this to-do list by the light of our GoPower solar-powered lights. Honestly, if I could do this over again and there wasn't a retrofit component, I would not pay someone to do it. I would just take it from the box and do it myself. It's that easy, genuinely. Biggest of thanks to Megan for helping me set all of this up and making sure that I was aware of what was happening and know what to do in the future. I'll leave her Instagram info in the description. Please make sure to go follow her. She's amazing. Also, biggest of shouts to GoPower for hooking it up with these equipment and having me as part of their ambassador program. And of course, thank you to you for watching this video. Please like, subscribe. I won't make you wait 9 years for more content, I promise. See you soon, friends.